Hello, this is the casting Hydralus Kenderski Decker coming to you one more time today for the final game of our series. And it is a darn good one. So for VPGamers, here we go. So spawning in the blue as the Zerg, we will have ROOTCatZ. His opponent, the very wittily named Red Terran of SCIIUS. Clearly the SC means he is super cool times 2, and he is unsurpassed by any. All kidding aside, this is on the map Lost Temple, the old Lost Temple, not the new Shattered Temple. Important note about the old Lost Temple, in case you don't remember, there is 2 Xel'Naga towers in the center of the map, with a couple of cliffs next to them. Also, you do have a relatively easy to take and defend natural base from your front. However, there is a cliff that had become an issue, and that's why you do not actually see this map anymore in the pool, because that cliff was such an issue for a lot of Zerg players, as Terran did like to drop it, but not always. So we will see what SCIIUS actually decides to do. A little bit of friendly banter going on between the players. Apparently SCIIUS wants to know if catz likes Kamichi. He might love him, he might not. No way for us to know. Looks like we have a barracks going down on 12 for SCIIUS. Pretty standard play so far. We'll see if he actually is just going to go with 1 barracks or 2. We'll know shortly to see if he takes any of his gas. Is going to actually take a gas on about 13. So probably going to be going for some kind of a fast factory right after the barracks. Maybe a 1-1-1 building and drops. We'll see what he actually decides to do. Scouting drone for catz just now is going to get into the base of SCIIUS. See what he can see. Maybe do a little bit of harassment, it looks like. Yes, he's going to try and harass a little bit. SCIIUS just easily pulls that SCV off. Will he lose it? No, it does get away. Other SCV will finish up the first barracks. Meanwhile, back in catz's base, it looks like he did take a very late hatchery. Might have even been on 16. And is going to take a very late pull, going for an extremely economically oriented build, going for a 16-16. Meanwhile, SCIIUS just trying to be annoying, mining the back of the mineral patch. Just trying to mess up catz's drone mining, make him bounce around. Catz's drone still hanging out in the base. Looks like he wants to try and get it out of there. But SCIIUS is going to try and wall in with another supply depot. And the Marine is going to kill him. Poor drone. We mourn for thee. A moment of silence for the drone. Anyways, back to the game. Orbital Command just now finishing up at about 18. Started it on 16. Back in catz's base, we do have him finishing up his pool in just a moment. Expansion hatchery will likewise finish just about when his pool finishes. Also taking his gas now. Gonna probably put drones into that right away. Yes, he is. Be interested to see what he does with his first 100 gas. Most Zerg will just get the quick Zergling speed. Gives you really good map control. Meanwhile, catz actually moving forward with this Overlord. Looks like 3 Marines are going to try and pick it off. Will the Overlord actually survive on the 88, 70, 52 health and does just barely get away. So catz just barely getting away with that Overlord. SC2 in his base, he is getting a fast factory. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do once he gets that factory. Could go for some kind of Hellion play, as that would be a little more unexpected. Could just go for the standard drop play that you see so very often on this map, in this matchup. So we'll see which one he actually does go for. If you look at the income tab right now, we do see that catz is slightly ahead, 22 to 19 harvesters. But if you do notice in the minerals, whenever SCIIUS does have the good old kneel down, he is a much closer game. Going back to production tab, we do see SCIIUS is starting his starport, so is doing a 1-1-1 build, getting a quick tap lab on that factory, so we'll see what he's going to go for. Briefly starts siege mode and then cancels it and starts a siege tank, so probably is going to be going for siege mode so that he can do a drop onto catz's cliff. Meanwhile, catz has started the metabolic boost in his base, just droning up heavily right now, only with 2 actual Zerglings on the map for scouting, as those are moving forward. And catz once again poking forward with that Overlord, and once again it just barely survives. That is the luckiest Overlord in the world. You'd almost just want to pet them. They're so cute, right? Right? No, not really. Going back to what SC2 is up to, it looks like he really wants to kill that Overlord, but just can't quite do it just yet. Siege mode is getting close to about halfway done. First tank is done. Medevac is on the way. No second tank in production just yet. Just building more supply depots, kind of hanging out on this, waiting for his medevac to come up so he can try to do some drops. Meanwhile, catz is getting a Spinecrawler at his natural base, maybe starting to feel like he could be under some pressure at any moment, especially given he only has 2 Zerglings on the map, but does have very good vision of the map right now. If you see, he sees his opponent's natural, Sees all the way over to both those Naga towers, so very good vision of the map right now. That medevac is loaded up, and it looks like he's going to be going with 1 SCV, 2 Marines, and a tank. A little bit of an interesting grouping there. And is catz going to see this? No! catz does not quite see this medevac. Just barely misses this medevac. Medevac may have actually seen the Zergling, as it does have quite a bit more vision than the Zergling does. But does avoid detection. catz moving back through, but just barely is not going to see this medevac. Does not even know it's coming. He's about to find out very soon, though, that this medevac is on its way. Is going to sit out the Overlords. Will he pick off the Overlords? Could easily move forward. These Marines pick off the Overlords. And he's going to go for the Extractor. Decides to let the Overlords live. Maybe he likes Overlords. Doesn't want to kill them. So the Overlords are going to escape. Now actually going to elevator these Marines down. Is he going to go after the Overlords now? Nope. They're just going to hang out. Still hanging out. And there goes the Marines, picking them up, dropping them down. Looks like he's taking his time. Meanwhile, in catz base, he has gone to lair. Is getting his Spire down. Back in the base of SCIIUS, behind this push, we do see a command center coming down. Engineering bay is up. Nothing else new for him at this moment in time. Just getting ready to expand, putting down some turrets. Wants to be safe from Mutalisk. And then, if you are ROOTCatZ, what's standard when you're under pressure and you're losing your natural? Of course, you double expand towards your opponent. It's the last thing you would expect. So catz taking the 9 o'clock and the 9 o'clock natural base. That Overlord's still just barely hanging on. Another medevac is out. A couple of Marines. Going to be adding on an armory, so maybe going to be either moving to Thor's or just going for upgrades for his tanks. Meanwhile, back over here at the natural expansion, we see catz more or less has abandoned this. Tank and Marines just hammering away at this. Broodlings are going to make the medevac pick up the Marines. Actually ends up picking up everything. Is going to retreat now, probably sensing that Mutalisk could be on the way at any time. Does not want to lose any units he does not need to lose, so it's just going to back off there after killing the expansion. Is going to hover miss this giant drone transfer from catz. Tons of free drones that he could have had, but they're going to easily just mosey on over to catz's new bases. Bunch of Zerglings out on the map, running forward. See what they can see. One going to move forward, instantly killed by a siege tank. And finally, SCIIUS picks off that Overlord. Used the medevac to spot and finally nailed it. Meanwhile, back in catz's base, we do have 6 mutas on the way. Spire has finished. Also adding a queen to his new expansion. Not adding a queen just yet to the other expansion. Is getting the gases for that expansion, though wants to make sure he gets up on 6 gases as soon as possible to support that Mutalisk production. Still, oddly enough, no Baneling Nest for catz, though. This is actually getting quite late into the game to not have a Baneling Nest, especially with the Terran going a build that he is. Rather heavy Marine tank at this point in time. Adding yet another barracks. It's going to be getting a tech lab down on one of the barracks, reactor on the second barracks. Probably is going to want to be starting to research STIM once this tech lab finishes. I would imagine that is what that is for. Also have a Thor starter now, so that is what that armory was going to be for. Has not started any upgrades yet with the engineering bay or the armory. A couple of turrets more going down. Wants to be safe from Mutalisk. A couple of Mutalisks actually hanging out, oddly enough, over here. 5 of them. Looks like they're going to move in, see if they can poke and do any damage. Going to just barely squeak by the Marines, and they're going to run straight into one of SCIIUS's few turrets. And, oh, one Mutalisk actually does get picked off from catz's forces. Also adding another factory now. Going up to 2 factories, 2 barracks, actually a 3rd barracks going on, so 3 barracks, 2 factory, and a starport. No add-ons on the starport as of just yet. Actually only operating off of just the 1 or 2 medevacs that he had previously, currently at this point in time. Thor is complete. Adding on even a 4th barracks, so 4 barracks, 2 factory, and a starport now. STIM has just now started. Factory is about to complete. Meanwhile, catz is clearing out the rocks to his gold base. Looks like he's going to try and expand to his gold base. Has not even retaken his natural base yet. Do have the +1 missile attack started for ROOTCatZ. Just now, finally, SCIIUS is starting some upgrades. He does have the +1 vehicle weapons and +1 infantry weapons going down. Getting yet another reactor on this other barracks. So 2 reactor barracks, 1 tech lab barracks. If we bring up the army supply real quick, we do see that catz is in a slight lead, 102 to 96. If we look at the income tab, catz with a slight lead as well, 52 to 47. SCIIUS now moving out, picking off that Zergling that was holding that tower for quite most of the game, to be totally honest. catz zipping around with his mutas. Looks like he's sick of having these turrets next to his base. He's going to go pick those off. Loses 2 mutas. Might want to actually micro some of these back. Loses 3 mutas to these turrets. Maybe a little bit foolhardy by catz there, actually losing 3 mutalisks to those turrets. Last barracks is not complete. Going to add another reactor to it for SCIIUS. SC2 actually unsieging all his tanks. Looks like he's going to start to push forward with this force. Might be thinking of actually attacking catz. Once again, clears out that Xel'Naga tower quite easily. Catz making 8 more mutas at this time. Catz still without a Baneling nest anywhere as far as I can tell. And there is a decent amount of Marines with this force. Gonna move forward, pick off one of Katz's crew tumors. Actually didn't even need to scan. Catz just kind of handed it to him. More mutas getting made. A couple of lanes getting made for Catz. He does have these 2 bases rather saturated. Looks like SC2US is going to move forward, pick off yet another Overlord. This will temporarily supply block catz. Catz is now supply blocked at 125 of 120 supply. Meanwhile, in the base of SC2US, Catz moving in with a bunch of mutalisks. No turrets there to defend. It's going to be picking off most of the SCVs. If we look at the income tab, it is now just 44 to 53 harvesters. Catz now is going to go straight after that armory. Meanwhile, SC2US is moving forward with his forces, kind of just hanging out in the middle of the map, actually, not even really reacting to this very much. 2 Baneling nests going down for Catz, 1 in his main. Looks like another over here at the 9 o'clock base, but SC2US is now moving forward, scanning, picking off creep tumors. We also even have a Nidus Canal started for Catz in his main base. So looking at possibly Nidus out of there to his expansion. Siege tank sieging up on the creep, but Catz without any Banelings whatsoever has no real way to engage this force. Then we have a hit squad of Marines moving forward. They're going to pick off all of these drones at Katz's gold base rather easily. A couple of tanks moving forward, getting ready to siege up. Meanwhile, back in the base of SC2US, we do have Catz attacking, picking off add-ons, picking off buildings, just trying to wear SC2US down. SC2US with most of his harvesters now at his natural base mining. Muta is just sitting over all of his production facilities, picking them off. This is going to be a very interesting play to see how this actually pans out. SC2US now moving towards Katz's natural. Going to see if there's actually nothing there. Picks off a couple of creep tumors. Picks off more creep tumors. Going to move straight into the main of ROOTCatZ. A couple of mutas hanging out in this base. Looks like he's going to transfer all his drones to somewhere else on the map. Flies away his mutalisks. Nidus coming up at his new expansion. Does not have a cooldown or anything. We're here just the Baneling's nest. Is getting Baneling speed at the expanded one. Catz meanwhile picking off all of the production facilities of SC2US. SC2US left with just 1 barracks right now. Now re-adding on 1, 2, 3, 4 more barracks to his current count. If we look at the actual army tab right now, we see that it is 125 of Catz to 107 of SC2US. If we look at the resources tab, 107 to 125 as well. Going back to production queue, we do have Burrow started for Catz. Catz picking off tons of supply depots. This will actually supply block SC2US very shortly. He's going to have to put down some more supply depots now as well. He just barely has enough room. Meanwhile, back in the main base of Catz, SC2US has cleared the whole thing out. Catz has not restarted a spawning pool yet. Catz, you need to restart your spawning pool. What are you doing, Catz? Does have some Banelings though. Does have some mutas flying around the map. Still cleaning up the main base of SC2US. Does have some Marines in his natural though, so his natural will be fairly safe. Catz moving forward, just picking off anything he can get his grubby little paws on. SC2US very close to being supply blocked. Will actually be supply blocked once of this last supply depot goes down, but the SC2US does have a formidable force, and it is moving forward. Tanks are moving straight towards the base, and Catz going to try to move out before the siege tank siege, and he's actually going to blow up a ton of the Banelings on the siege tanks. Tons of Marines still alive. Does pick off some of the Marines, but there's a bunch of Marines still left alive. Queen's even moving forward now. Several medevacs healing. I'm not sure these mutas are going to be enough to actually pick off the rest of these Marines. Mutas clumping up, making it easier for the Thor to actually attack them. More Marines getting built and moving forward now. Picking off the rest of the mutalisks, stemming forward, picking off the rest of the Queens, moving into Katz's natural now, picking off Overlords left and right. Katz is going to be supply blocked. No, he won't be supply blocked. Doesn't have hardly any army left. We look at the resource counter. It is currently 73 to 55. SC2US swinging violently into the lead, just sprinting forward with these stem Marines, trying to kill as much as humanly possible. Now cutting off the reinforcement point for Katz's 2 bases. Is going to be working on this. I'm not sure how Catz can come back from this. He doesn't even have a spawning pool down. 2,000 minerals and no spawning pool. Cannot build anything right now. Catz making a crucial mistake at a very crucial time. Now pulling all of his drones to try and do something to the Marines. These are not going to be too effective at killing stem Marines with medevacs, however, though. Drones moving forward, trying to kill anything they can. Catz just banking minerals right now. Pool is still not down. Tons of larvae just sitting there, unable to do anything. SCIIUS cleans up the rest of the drones. The Catz is going to clean up the last screen, and Catz is going to be forced to GG out of the game. that will be the end of our cast for today. On behalf of VPGamers, this is Ken Nursky Decker saying peace out for now, guys. I will see you at the next cast, of course. Bye, guys.